Hey guys, what's going on? It's your boy M.K.S here. I hope everyone's well. This is obviously part 3, as the title suggests, of my plans to support Asian authors and artists. And I think please check out part 1 and part 2 if you haven't already done so. And share in the comments below any Asian authors and street artists, possibly including yourself if you are one, in the comments below. I was thinking the reason to remind myself the reason why I wanted to do this sort of stuff, as well as hopefully finding it interesting, an interesting project, and hopefully hoping to challenge myself to come up with interesting ideas and things like that, is because I suppose for a number of reasons, like for instance, white supremacists or neo-Nazis or the far right, whatever you want to call them, hate people of colour. So I think it's good for us to unite together and turn that hate into a positive thing where we love it and support each other. Another thing is because I'm an anti-imperialist, and most Asian countries, just like African countries, most Asian nations were colonized. So as an anti-imperialist, I wish to support them, because to me, colonization means, to be honest, in my opinion, it means like stealing, killing, murdering, trespassing, torture, murder, and all these sorts of things. So I suppose some people call me a social justice warrior, but I'm not much of a warrior. So I'd probably say I'm a social justice supporter or social justice worker, if you like, or someone who works towards social justice. Anyway, I don't want to waffle too much, so I'm going to try and get on with the list. I hope that made sense. But yeah, there's some of the reasons why I wish to support Asia, as well as being part Asian myself. It's like an anti-imperial thing, basically, to put it simply. So in part one of this video, or this series, I covered points 1 to 10. Parts in part 2, I covered 11 to 20. So I'm going to carry on from that list. Number 21, I hope to learn about history of Asian and art and writing, and possibly learn about some Asian languages and things like that. I've never really learned a different language, even though my mum's of Indian origin and probably really wanted me to learn another language, and even made me go to a sort of tuition thing where they teach about Hindi, I think it was, at the temple. But I never really learned any Asian languages or anything else. As I partly jokingly say, I can barely speak English. So, but anyway, yeah. So I'm not sure if I'd learn a language, but I think it would be interesting to support some of the YouTube channels that talk about Asian languages. I talked before about, even though I'm anti-imperialist, I think it'd be good for people from Asia and places like that to learn about English, because I believe it's the international language for trade and business and things like that. And also, if they can write in English, they have more chance of reaching an audience, not just in Asia itself or in their own country, but around the world as well. From in the Americas, Australasia, Europe, Asia, and Africa, and places like that. So if they can speak in English or learn to write in English as well, they can have more opportunities, I think. Anyway, moving on to point 22, I hope to empower Asian authors, and as your connection is unstable, please wait while we try to reconnect you. So I hope this video is going to upload properly. That sign's gone now, so not sure how, but anyway, sorry. So yeah, in the future, how they can be empowered. 23, I hope to fundraise, and again, like I talked more about in my previous videos, about sending things like plain paper or different coloured papers and things like that to Asia to help with their art, and like crayons and felt tips and things like that. That's one of my dreams as well. And as I said before, about supporting the poor and disadvantaged communities, women, single mums, and people from orphanages, and just generally poor people from Asia as well, and basically the whole, not just poor people, but having some sort of focus towards helping people from poorer backgrounds as well. 24, I hope to support as many countries in Asia as possible as I say, on Wednesdays to focus on writing, and other days to focus on other projects. 25, especially republics, as I talked before about. I know I talked about that before in my videos yesterday about focusing more on business, and today I want to focus more on writing as a career, and also possibly writing for pleasure as well, but especially from republics like India and China, places like that. 26, once again, this is like an anti-imperial thing. And to me, like, I'd love to support all of Asia, but especially countries like Iraq. If I could fundraise to support buildings and organizations and institutions that help Iraqi writers and authors, as well as from the rest of Asia and India and countries like that which were taken over and, in my opinion, wronged in some way. So, as I say, social justice, if you want to call it that or whatever. 27, I hope to have lists of supporters and possibly help them with increasing their PR. And I think if people from Asia or people who support Asian writers acknowledge those that fund them, then it encourages more people to sponsor and generally support Asian authors and artists. As I say, not sure, maybe I'm being naive, but I think hopefully, encourage more people. I suppose that's normally why people sponsor certain things. 28, so yeah, maybe, sorry, going back to point 27, maybe like a list of the top 30 or whatever number of sponsors, top 10 or top 20 or whatever, or even the top 1,000 sponsors if we get that many, or and people have donate to support Asian artists and authors. Sorry. 28. Once again, like countries like Iraq, which I think were wronged in like the invasion of Iraq. I love to support their writers as a sort of way to make up for it, sort of recompense. And again, they're authors and artists, so forth. 29. I hope to encourage as many people, including Eurasians like myself or other mixed race groups, to support Asian authors and artists, and possibly people from the diaspora, how we pronounce it. As I say, part Asians and people who are like of Asian ancestry, to support Asian projects and things like that. Point number 30. Yeah, I often say TBC, which stands for to be continued. So I think I had an idea, but I forgot it. So anyway, every Wednesday I hope to not necessarily in this form. Next, it might be just generally think of ideas or asking people to share any information about Asian authors or writers. Again, it might not be in list form, it might be a bit different, but it's generally on Wednesday I want to focus on those sorts, on Asian authors and artists, people sharing information about, and it could be like ideas or ways to sponsor authors and artists in Asia, and people who want to send things to Asia, like things they no longer need instead of throwing them away, possibly make a better use of them if they send them to Asia. Obviously, if it's personal stuff, I wouldn't recommend sending that sort of stuff, or things that, like I know, like say if people got old letters with information about their address or whatever, they normally rip them up. But obviously, if you feel comfortable, if there are things like plain paper that you no longer use, or you think you're not going to use for a long time, or like you don't really print many things off, maybe you could send some of those, or like old books or old things that you're never going to use again, but you feel instead of ripping them up or throwing them away or wasting them, you could make use of them by sending them to Asia and things like that. So as I say, hope you Asian authors and artists. I've got that message come up again that's saying connection is unstable, but hopefully this fits. So hopefully this video posted properly. Again, it's gone. But yeah, so or if any donations you would want to make in the future, or like ways to send direct debits or to parts of Asia, which hopefully would help them in the long run. Anyway, I think I don't want to waffle too much, so peace and love.